Today's insight again is I want to just like start looking at again this six-dimensional vibration that's coming, this six-dimensional sort of frequency that's coming to the planet at the moment. It's very much around sort of like source experience and source reality, and this is very much around ascension as well. Ascension is the process of going back to oneness, and it's the process of us awakening to the light realms and the light realities. It's us awakening again to that we're this spiritual being, that this spiritual light and energy, and this is what we're born from. This is what we come from. This is our essence. This is who we are and what we are. And the ascension process is awakening to that light, and this is what a lot of the sort of purposes of light workers are. Light workers come from these light realms, these light dimensions and realities, and this is where we were born. This is where we were created by the source energy, and we're not separate. We're not separate in any sense or any way. And this is what this journey is about. It's awakening and realizing and coming back into oneness. And this is why the universal law of oneness is so essential for this spiritual journey and this spiritual reality. That nothing's separate. That separation is the biggest hurdle that we have when we come down into this incarnation, this reality, this embodiment. And when we start to come into it, we sort of like we become dormant and we forget. We have the angels, the archangels, and the angelic realms around us that are very much light energy, light frequencies that work on the sixth dimension. Well, the archangels work on the sixth dimensional reality, as well as the ascended masters. And this is why CD's six dimensional reality is so essential at this time, because it awakens us to the light and the energy and the understanding that we're not separate, that we have this spiritual sort of vibration and frequency that we can create, and we're part of creation. And it's about awakening to that, and once we start to realize that, then we can start to shift and change reality. And this is where the teaching comes from, with transmutation and transformation, which is to do with Saint Germain. Saint Germain is very much around sort of like dissolving, releasing, and coming back into that oneness, but also like transforming and transmutation. Transmutation is this state of being. It goes from one state of being to the next, and like I said yesterday, as I start to connect into this, I see like a triangle of infinite light and infinite energy, like this pyramid. And a pyramid to me is always like a gateway. It's a portal that allows us to vibrate at a frequency that we start to sort of go back, or come back into sort of like our essence and our oneness. And there's infinite light frequencies to this, and this is what source is about. It's infinite. There's no limitation. There's no separation, and source is the essence of all creation. And like I was saying yesterday, like all physical objects, or like sort of like physical sort of physical sort of like objects, like I don't know, anything holds the essence of creation. And sources in every experience we have, in every moment, in every second of, or like, but time doesn't exist, because time again is it's an illusion, because there's no separation, especially with source. And this time's very much around that. It's about awakening and coming back into that. That there is no separation, and this is what I feel the 660 reality and 6D dimension is very much around. It's bringing us back into source. It's bringing us back into light and energy, and the awareness and the realization that we're not separate. A lot of us are sort of like the separation. Then also connects to the universal law of correspondence, where we're sort of like the outer reality is connected, or like is created, or is like a projection of like the inner reality. So the more we start to connect into this light and into this source energy, the more we start to realize the outer reality, or the what we call reality, which is the physical world, the material world, is only sort of like a fluid, energetic sort of like vibration. And when you start coming into source, you realize that when you're in source energy and you're in source light, you start to realize that it's fluid. And so it's like a canvas that can be sort of like, it can be created, or you can create a vision, you can create a picture, you can create sort of like a different reality. And again, this is transmutation and transformation. Serapis Bey sort of like is very much an ascended master is around this. Again, it's about sort of removing the illusion. Serapis Bey gives us the light and the energy to move back into that kind of oneness vibration again, and start to realize that we can start to ascend. Ascension is that process of going back to oneness, and this is a really, really important key part of teaching of the masters, that oneness is everything. So at any time, at any moment, there is no separation. There is no sort of there is no boundaries. There is no barriers. The barriers are only when we're not vibrating, or we're not sort of remembering that there is no separation, that we are one with everything, and every moment of every vibration of every frequency of the whole universe is vibrating in source energy, and is source energy, and it's vibrating at one in one moment, in one vibration, one frequency. And this is so key and so important, because this is where the sort of like your spiritual sort of creation comes online. But it's also that you understand that you have a light and energy, a power, or a frequency. I say power, but I don't even like to use that word, because I think so much as human beings, power is used in a way to in the wrong ways, and really what I'm trying to say is, and I feel like when I'm guided with this, when we're talking about sort of like spiritual power is a source energy that's unconditional. And true sort of spiritual power is looking for the highest outcome for all beings. It's not about one. It is about one, but it's not about I as in like me. It's about the infinite. It's like the collective. It's about we're one vibration, and that's when you start to really sort of connect into like what the spiritual essence and spiritual power is all about. It's about, and this is also like when we talk about light worker frequencies and light worker vibrations. It's very much around, light workers are and light beings. And light beings, I'm talking about infinite beings, I'm talking about angels, I'm talking about masters, I'm talking about, people talk about Arcturians, they talk about other worldly beings, spiritual beings. They all know they're part of oneness. They all know they're part of an infinite cycle of vibration and frequency, and they know it's about like this vibration that works for the greater good with all. And they also know there's no separation. So they also know that even us on this planet as human beings, in this incarnation, in this reality, is we're not separate, and that the whole sort of like the whole sort of purpose of like masters and angels and other sort of ascended beings, but also collectives, are to bring us back into this oneness vibration. We knew this in this time of Lemuria, we knew this time of Atlantis, and we've known this in many sort of like spiritual incarnations. And we also know that when we start to go back to the sixth dimensional reality, which is source energy, and it's the oneness vibration, then we start to realize there's no separation, there's no distance, there's no time. In this kind of world and reality, everything is manifested instantly through light and energy. You do not need to, like in this physical incarnation, because we're still on a slower vibration, it's very physical and it takes a lot of energy to manifest and create. But within the realms of light and the sixth dimension, when we start going back to source, everything is instantly created, because we know we have this instant sort of ability for creation and light and energy, and our consciousness, we just literally will it and it happens. But we have some of those aspects on this reality, in this realm at the moment, in this vibration, in this frequency. And this is what this time's about, is awakening to that sort of oneness again, that vibration, that frequency, and that source energy. And this is where the big shifting's going on. And I feel like in my own personal journey, this is happening with me all the time. I'm now looking at light energy and light frequencies, and I'm looking at how I'm anchoring them, but how I'm actually expressing them and walking around as a light energy. And the more I'm doing this, the more I'm bringing harmony into my sort of reality and in my everyday life, even in my work sort of like reality. But again, this is the key message, the message that the masters brought through yesterday, and I feel it's a key message again, that you're this light frequency, this light energy. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you're not separate. You know, what we're doing sometimes in our lives is we're compartmentalizing, and what we're doing is that, and that's limiting it, and that's is causing the separation. So when when we go to work, we have, you know, we become this being that sort of like that, we sort of like connect more into that physical objective world and the material world, and again, this is where the separation comes through fear, worry, doubt, of events and experiences. And this time is not about that. This time is about opening and expressing, and this time is about coming back to oneness. And this is what the pure source creation, is sort of like frequency and energy, vibration that's coming back to the planet is telling us this. And this is where some of these people, you know, when they talk about like the new dawning, they talk about Atlantis, and they talked about Lemuria. You know, you've got like, they're talking about fifth dimensional realities like Telos here at the moment, well, they're already on the planet, and there's vibrations and frequencies. But that shows again, if there's like these ethereal sort of like fifth dimensional realities that are on this planet, or like are vibrating, or within the Earth planet, is showing there's no separation again. And this is what this triangle was talking about. There's um, infinite sort of like light frequencies, you know, that, and we hold these within our essence, within our source energy, our core energy. And it's again, it's awakening to that. All the limitations are when we separate, and this is what happened when we were born into this reality. We were born into this this physical reality when we came down to the earth, and we were. But this is why we've chosen to come here, is to raise this vibration, raise this frequency. This is my purpose. This is all of our purposes, and it's about sort of like coming back into that purpose, into that understanding again, the awareness. And ascension again is like, ascension is not something that happens outside of yourself. It's something that happens within your source, within your energy. Ascension is the understanding, and the awareness again that everything is one. That the universal law of oneness is the fundamental to all creation, but to all reality. And this is why it's so important. This is why the universal laws are so important. You know, we've talking about sort of like a law of attraction and things like that. Well, law of attraction is really just the understanding that you're this source vibration, this source frequency, and there's no limitations, there's no barriers. And once you start getting into that vibration, then you start to create the reality. So you don't even need to necessarily attract anything anymore, because you're in pure harmony, you're in pure oneness. And this is what this time's about, and this is what the sixth dimensional reality is bringing. Is bringing that there's no separation, that we're infinite beings of infinite light, infinite vibration, infinite frequency, and that we are connected to the infinite source energy, which is the universal vibrations, the universal frequency, the universal realities. So this time is so key. I keep seeing a golden key when I keep saying key, but the key is like unlocking the universal knowledge, the universal wisdom, the universal secrets. And again, you've got angels that work with this. Raziel, the archangel, works with universal secrets, universal understanding, universal principles. You've got many different sort of teachers that work with that. Melchizedek works with that. I wanted to say Melchizedek, I was just trying to find the vibration as I was talking about. Melchizedek works with that. Melchizedek order is a universal teacher. When I first started working, as you know, with Reiki, my old Reiki teacher was very much connected to Melchizedek and the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a universal teacher that brings this infinite wisdom, this infinite light. But he's like a master again, a universal teacher. There's many universal teachers as well as masters. And again, when we talk about ascended masters, we talk about all the different masters and the rays, and we talk about the archangels. This infinite sort of like spiritual sort of like vibrations and frequencies, and these beings hold these frequencies, and there's infinite beings that are giving us information and energy at the moment. And it's about opening up to it. It's opening up to these frequencies, vibrations. Like I keep saying, how I feel in this vibration at the moment is I'm a light being, and it's about me remaining in that light frequency, that light vibration, and it's expressing it and walking as it. and not allow myself to become separate from it. And I'm doing this, integrating this more, and this is releasing, like I was talking about, this compartmentalizing. This is releasing it in my own life. Again, as I talk about this, I've got two white angel wings that have just sort of appeared behind me. So again, anything angelic sort of like frequencies are bringing harmony, balance, but also angels are very much around service, and I feel like some of what this is, what these frequencies are around, is like service. But again, service is serving other beings, but it's being unconditional. Again, this six dimensional frequency is about unconditional, and this is what source is. It's unconditional. So it doesn't matter where you are, within your own consciousness and your own frequency. You're still part of source, and each and every one of us is part of that oneness vibration. And wherever you are in that vibrational sort of frequency on your own journey, at the end of the day, it's still part of the whole, and the source energy is still unconditional to you. Wherever you are, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're going through, that source energy is with you, and it's part of you, a part of you, because you are part of source energy, because you're a light, you're an energy, you're a frequency, and all you have to do is awaken to that and start to bring through your own awareness that you are one, you are connected, but you're not limited. There's no limitation. There's only separation, and separation occurs when you live your life in a way that's away, that is aware, that is away from that oneness vibration, that has forgot about your frequency, about your source energy, about your source light. And this is what this time's about, and this is what this six-dimensional frequency is bringing down. I feel so much light and so much energy. I feel overwhelmed with it. I even feel quite emotional with these frequencies at the moment, because it's like that. That people talk about spiritual, sort of like in spiritual realities and spiritual sort of like spiritual communities. They talk about coming home. Well, this is that kind of feeling. But coming home is the awareness that you're one, you're part of source. You are a light being, a light frequency. You're a light energy, and then and the coming home is knowing that you're not separate. Separate is the biggest. Separation is the biggest barrier and hurdle we have on this planet at the moment, and the biggest barrier and hurdle we all have in our own spiritual journeys. And separation comes in many forms: fear, doubt, worry, frustration, anger, loads of things. But it also comes in looking outside of ourselves and looking at the world and looking at the chaos, looking at the wars, looking at the political systems, looking at all those kind of things. All of those kind of things are all aspects of separation. But separation leaves us powerless. It leaves us in a place where we feel powerless when we're not. Again, with this source energy, it's about awakening. And it's about, how do we use our vibration? How do we use our frequency? How do we express our light in a way that we change and shift? And we do this unconditionally. We do this in an unconditional way. And this is part, again, of the light work is sort of like journey, but part of all of our spiritual journeys. We're all light workers in our own way, in some ways, because we're all beings of light. But the purpose of a light worker is to come down here. And it's not about sort of like, it's not about what we're gonna sort of like achieve, as in like material of success. It's about what we're doing in the spiritual reality, in the spiritual realm, and how the planet is shifting, how we're reaching, how we're expressing light, how we're using our light. Are we using it for healing? Are we using it for oneness? Are we using it in a way that it aligns and unifies? Because the whole oneness vibration is about alignment. It's unifying with spiritual beings. It's unifying with the infinite beings of light, the infinite realities of light, which are all source aspects of source. And this is what this time's about, and this is what the six-dimensional reality and frequency and the new consciousness is about, that's coming to the planet. And this is what this time's about. So for me, again, the practice is, start to get in touch with your source energy, your light frequency, your light energy, and express it, and look at how you separate yourself through your life. What things aren't integrated? What things aren't you aren't you sort of expressing, or what things are you sort of like, how are you separating? You know, at moments when you're in fear, when you're in doubt, where you feel sort of alone and stuff like that. If there's things like that going, how are you separating? And then just come back to your source energy, and then that will bring harmony, that bring union, that bring alignment, that will open your channel um, to the infinite beings of light, the masters of light, the universal teachers, the angels. All these beings are around you, and they're here for you right now. So that's the insight for today. Take that energy, take that light with you. Feel the union, the connection, and the oneness of that. And this is given to you, you know, to help you feel aligned, supported, secure, and also know that you have that infinite light, that source energy in you that you can create, you can shift, and you can change your reality. And when you become aware of it and you awaken to it, your life will shift and change as well. And you have the power to do that. And remember, power is not in that way that we use it in a human form. It's about oneness, it's about union, it's about a frequency that connects and is unconditional, as is source. And source is this energy that's with you, as with the beings, the infinite beings of light and energy that bring this to you. The angels, they're all here in unconditionally to bring us back into oneness and into light and into union with source. That's the reading for today. Please subscribe, comment, and like, share. Any comments, please put in the box below. I'd love some comments. That'd be great. See, and if anybody's feeling these kind of frequencies, sharing is always a great way to build into that union, into that oneness as well, into the light. All right, take that energy, take that light. I hope it. You know, I will be sort of expressing it, and I hope that energy, that light, stays with you throughout the day, and it brings you some sort of understanding and insight, and aligns you and unifies you.